A lone, barren mountain, a battle between speed and strength was about to reach its conclusion. A failed attempt to land a killing blow, the Oni destroyed the young samurai's blade, forcing him to leap back, fiercely glaring at the masked Oni. The blow failed to end her, but the Oni's mask was cracked right down the middle. Slowly approaching the samurai, the Oni's mask fell, split in half, and hit the floor. As she towered over him, the Oni complimented the samurai's skill in a booming voice. The Oni, now maskless, had a beautiful face along with a cute, satisfied expression now that she'd beaten this strong yet young samurai. She commented that it was actually a shame that he was only a human, giggling after the words left her lips. The samurai was surprised that the Oni not only had a stunning figure, but a face to match, and he was left speechless, but boy did he try. How he ended up here was due to a greedy lord not appreciating that the brutal Oni was stealing from him, though he had ignored the threat when it was just ravaging the lands. The lord had summoned the heir of the Inoshishi family as he knew of their expert tracking skills. However, there was a second reason. The family refused to hike up their taxes as the greedy lord requested, and so he wanted their heir to perish on this quest. But Inoshishi went and faced the Oni in her territory, and lost. What Inoshishi didn't know was that the Oni had a rather simple but devastating weakness: compliments. Believing to be at his end, Inoshishi complimented the Oni on her beauty, even though she was a monster. He added that if things were different, he would have wed her then and there. As Inoshishi accepted his fate, he didn't notice that the Oni was blushing and was struck a fatal blow by his words. As Inoshishi stripped his armor in preparation for his demise, the Oni cleared her throat and returned the comment shyly, mentioning that he shouldn't be ashamed as he was remarkably strong and skilled. He accepted her words and thanked her for it, but commented that a defeat is a defeat, so there is nothing more to be done about it. Prepared, Inoshishi announced that his life is hers and she may dispose of him as she wishes. But if he may be so bold, he'd like a dignified death that would honor him and his family. However, before he could finish, he spotted that the Oni was just sitting beside him in a peaceful manner. The Oni first had a question for Inoshishi. Was he serious about marrying her? She knows she's terrifying, but would he be happy to be with an Oni? To lay with one? He told her that he would, but asked why her voice sounded girlier. But once he looked at her, he realized what was going on, and that he had a mountain of flesh to climb. The pair ended up competing through love for 3 days and nights. It was no less intense compared to the battle of life and death they had before, and after that, both seemed to have vanished from the world. They were believed to be passed on due to the Oni mask and Inoshishi's sword being left behind, which was reported and delivered to the lord of the region. The greedy lord appreciated that Inoshishi and the Oni took each other out, freeing him to raise the taxes all he wanted. However, this misdeed reached the country's leaders, and the greedy lord and his clan were decimated. But the land never saw the Oni again, or Inoshishi. But that was because they fled together to live peacefully, raising their child in loving bliss. And with that, the Oni, and Inoshishi lived happily ever after with their loving little family.